That you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The voice of Berks and beyond. 830 WEEU ready.
The voice 830 WEEU.
Slow spin.
Open Billboard is playing.
I hear it.
Redner's presents Food for Thought. Your chance to learn nutrition information, how to achieve your lifestyle goals, the types of food to eat, and how to prepare them. Starring Meredith and Beth, Registered Dietitian and coordinator of the Health Sense program at Redner's. And Chef Tim, executive chef and director of food service at Redner's. The views expressed on Food for Thought are not necessarily those of the staff, management, ownership, or sponsors of 8:30 a.m. WEEU.
I'll count us down.
And now, here are your hosts, Meredith
3,
and Chef Tim.
2, 1. Good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land and on the internet as well. You're listening to Redner's Food for Thought right here on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. I'm Andy P. alongside my host with the most and roast.
Roast?
This is roast on the thing.
That's salmon.
Okay, see, this is why I'm not the host. Meredith McGrath, returning once again.
Just go with it, right? Right? Hello, Andy. How are you?
I am well. Thank you for complimenting me on my haircut when I walked in. It was very nice of you.
You look good. You look vibrant. It's like your summer cut.
Yes.
And it's hot. I literally just said to Andy and to Beth, who we're going to introduce in a second, that I put the air on because I was sweating and like really dying earlier. So I'm giving you this little bit of comfort.
Thank you.
Just a little bit.
Appreciate it.
So I'm happy to be back in the kitchen.
Yes.
Because last month we were running. We were out. Well, you.
It was a big important day. I didn't
ran.
run. No, you guys were running. I was just sitting by.
I ran. Yeah. So we had our United Way shopping spree, which was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
We had a record amount of groceries that went back to charity. So it was a really fun night. We spent the hour kind of just like chilling. We didn't get to eat.
No, we did not. We were in a grocery store.
Yeah, and we both went back and grabbed Chef Tim's wings and prepared foods to take home because it was so late and we just needed something really quick.
That's right.
But we're back in the kitchen.
We're back in the kitchen. We got somebody new here in the kitchen.
Yes, yeah. So I'm really excited. So today is the last day of April. We are a few hours away from May 1st, which is not only my firstborn, Finley, Nicole. It is her birthday tomorrow.
So many birthdays.
So yeah, we have a little bit of birthday decorations, and I will be up until 2 a.m. tonight making a gigantic balloon arch and preparing all of the craziness that a 7-year-old needs.
What's Dad doing?
Okay, so just picture this. Last month for the twins who turned 4, I stayed up till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Made the balloon arch, decorated the whole house, got all the presents ready. 6 a.m. they woke up, they run to their daddy, and they're like, Daddy, thank you so much. Thank you for our balloon arch. And because they had a dolphin, there's a big, beautiful balloon arch with dolphins jumping out and mermaids and sea creatures. And they thanked Daddy, and I was over there, and I was really tired. But that's okay.
Typical man taking credit for a woman's work.
But anyway, so tomorrow is day 1 of May. So yes, we're celebrating Finley's birthday, but we're also celebrating May is Beef Month.
Beef.
So I'm super excited to have my longtime friend and director of nutrition from the Pennsylvania Beef Council, Beth Stark, with us tonight.
Awesome. It's
Yay!
great to be here.
We're right up there.
This is only my second appearance on the show, and just so happy to be back in the kitchen. But obviously think of May in terms of summer grilling, fast approaching, and the start of the unofficial kickoff of summer with Memorial Day.
Yes.
And what better way to incorporate beef into your seasonal menus than some of the recipes we're going to share this evening?
Yes. So I was very excited. My kids were very excited to see Beth because from, you and I are registered dietitians. We're both moms. We have little ones. And our little ones have been eating beef since the very, very early years of their life. Some people start with the basic foods. We went right to beef. And, my kids love it. We have it very often, and
too.
they're very excited.
I mean, there's so much versatility. There's, different cuts for really any meal occasion, whether that's a simple family meal or maybe like a more like steakhouse meal at home kind of thing. So you have a good broad range of options. I mean, one of my go-tos, and we're using it in 2 different recipes this evening, is ground beef because it's just so versatile and it's quick and easy to prepare.
Yes.
It's affordable. You can find lean options, and it's kiddo friendly too. So there's just so much you can do with it.
So, of course, I buy all my ground beef at Redner's Markets, and I love to grab the family pack. And when it is on sale, I stock up my freezer. And what I do is I come home with that family pack, and I portion them out into 1 pound servings, kind of write the date on it, and toss it in the freezer. And then it's just such a quick and easy grab. I literally did it last night because I'm like, oh, we're due for tacos. Like, we haven't had tacos in like a week and a half, so I reached down to the freezer, grabbed out the ground beef, and, tossed it in the refrigerator to start thawing. I mean, those are the quick and easy things that we're looking at that, as a mom of a household of 1, household of 2, no matter who you are, and you want to get dinner to the table really quick, beef in general is a really great go-to food. Now, the question for you is, what are we looking for when we go to Redner's Markets? Like, what should we be buying? Because, we hear it sometimes, stay away from red meat, kind of limit it. But yet, as registered dietitians, we know that there's so much nutrition offered from beef.
Absolutely. And I think, too, just even, as a shopper myself, sometimes I feel overwhelmed with all the different selections, in the case. So if I want something for the slow cooker, what is the best roast for that? Or for grilling, what's the best cut, for grilling, for example? From a nutrition perspective, we're really talking about, as dietitians, looking for those leaner cuts. So those would be the cuts that would have the word sirloin, loin or round in the naming, for example. So like a top sirloin steak or just a sirloin steak, or a top round roast, bottom round roast, a top round steak. There's some different variations there you could find really easily, and using that loin and round kind of naming can really help guide your choices. Now there is one trick that, this cut doesn't necessarily have that same naming. A flank steak is another lean cut. And then we're using, like tonight, for example, 93% lean ground beef. So you could, also look for 90% lean, or leaner typically, and those leaner cuts for sure. And again, if you're not sure what to do with that wonderful cut, so maybe you have an unfamiliar flank steak in your kitchen, you really want to try to find the best recipe for that cut. So on our website, pabeef.org, you could search by that specific cut and look for recipes that correspond with that specific cut. Knowing it's a leaner cut, you'd want to marinate that for a number of hours before you would put that on the grill to ensure it's very tender, and then you have a great beef eating experience. Whereas other types of cuts, maybe a more marbled steak, like a ribeye, for example, it's not a lean cut. It is a delicious cut. So maybe
sorry, Auntie, we're not making ribeyes tonight. I know you're bummed. If Chef Tim was here, we would, but got the 2 registered dietitians. We're not doing
Fat
ribeye.
equals flavor.
That is true. That is very true, and we are not going to discount that. And certainly there is a place for it, especially when it comes to serving size. But everything Beth said in terms of those particular lean cuts that you want to have as part of like your regular rotation for family meals is really important.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I will say that I have gone often to the Pennsylvania Beef website because there are so many great recipes on there, but there's also a lot of how-to. So not only like how to select the right cuts, but also gives you like cooking tips, like specifically how to grill, how to have on the stove, how to put it in the oven. That sounds ridiculous, but there's these little tips that really help to ensure that you're cooking it correctly so that you're having the most optimal meal and the optimal beef experience possible, even from in terms of cooking to the correct temperature and for your liking. Beth and I were battling back and forth about the grill. She likes a little bit more well done. I like a little bit more medium to medium rare. So we were meeting in the middle there. Medium's great. It's a good balance for everybody.
No, but I think that's such a great point, though. Like all the different how-tos, and again, you can like search by different cut to like correspond with some of those things. So like how to broil a specific cut, and to perfection and so forth. And you've mentioned freezing ground beef and freezing other cuts just to be able to maybe purchase them at a lower price point per pound, and then use them later. There's even some how to safely thaw some of those different cuts and so forth, just so you have a a safe eating experience in addition to a delicious one. So I mean, you're right. It's such an awesome resource.
Right there on what was it again?
PAbeef.org.
PAbeef.org.
PAbeef.org, and I will put that in the comments along with looking at all of your awesome comments. So tonight, if you comment on our Facebook Live, either right now or if you catch it on replay, we want to hear from you what your favorite go-to cut of beef is, and then also how you like to prepare it. And we're going to pick one lucky random winner to get a Redner's $50 gift card so that the dinner is on us.
Yeah.
So, and if you're looking for a little inspiration, of course, our Redner's Health Sense magazine, brand new, hot off the press, delivered to our warehouse yesterday. This is May through July, so this will carry you through most of the summer. But look at this. Grilled flank steak with mango habanero corn salad. You have to check this out. I have a feeling, Andy, we're going to make this next month.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm telling you, it's a good one. Yeah. So we're going to make this next month. We should have made it today, but Beth email said, Mayor, we got to do Cinco. So Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner, and Beth sent me a list of taco recipes, and I said, well, I love tacos, so let's just do it. Yeah. So we're going to let Beth get started with our very first recipe. So Beth, tell us what our first recipe is.
So this is a little bit of a kind of a spin on like classic nuggets. So I feel like we kind of know what traditional nuggets would consist of. This is actually using a taco seasoned beef to really shift it up. So I'm really excited to kind of bring this to fruition. And so it ties in with that Cinco de Mayo theme as well. Okay. So there we go. So what we're starting with here in our bowl, we've got some lean ground beef. This is 1 pound of 93% lean ground beef, adding some just your standard taco seasoning. Now, from my perspective, I usually look for a lower sodium, mixed of taco seasoning, just because they can be very high in sodium otherwise. So we're starting there really easily, and then we're actually adding in, this is just a can of the diced chilies.
Oh, I love those. You could also make your own taco seasoning if you're feeling ambitious. I have been ambitious lately. Yesterday I made my own ranch. I made my own croutons. I will tell you that taco took forever to make. I literally like 2 hours and I finally had my salad. I'm sorry, I said taco, but my salad. But this is really easy to just do a quick search on the internet, look for, DIY taco seasoning, and it's seriously like 3 or 4 seasonings that you most likely already have.
Exactly.
So it's really quick and easy.
And you can then really control the amount of sodium that's in that. I like to use something like smoked paprika or chipotle chili just to give it a little smoky flavor.
Cumin,
and I have to say,
cumin's also nice if you're going low on the sodium. It's nice.
Absolutely. Lots of flavors in there. And so I actually used, this is like a ranch taco seasoning too, just for like a little bit of flair. Yeah. So literally that's kind of the base of what we're seasoning the meat with. Now, the next step is that we will be taking this portion here of meat. We're going to break it down into about 16 like equal size pieces. Okay. And now this is where the fun part comes in. So we're going to shape them into a little bit of a nugget shape the best we can.
Or a meatball, whatever. It doesn't matter what the shape is.
And then we're actually going to stuff it with some Colby Jack cheese cubes, which is really, really cool. And it kind of just adds a whole different layer. So we'll start with one. So we're just shaping this around.
Oh, that's going to be so
It's kind of like hidden. I feel like if you don't tell whoever you're serving this to that there's cheese in the middle, it's like a little surprise.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we've got, there we go, just kind of our nugget base. And then the next step would be we're going to dunk it here in a little bit of like an egg wash. And then the finale here is some crushed tortilla chips.
Ooh, yeah.
So use your favorite crushed, like nacho seasoned, taco seasoned tortilla chips for the breading. If you want to call it breading or the crusting.
Yeah.
And these are so fun because you can make this ahead of time.
Oh, you absolutely
And then
could.
when the kids get home from school, you could pop them in the oven, and then it is a perfect, healthy, hot, sustainable snack.
Yeah,
that they're
for sure.
like, my kids come home, they want pretzels and they want crackers and yogurt. And it's like, gosh, I would really rather you have something that offers some more nutrition.
Yes.
And, I love the portion control. Mm-hmm. These are a great appetizer, even for adults. This is not only a kid meal. This is great for appetizers. It's great for snacks. Again, making them ahead of time is really awesome. And I think this is pretty... This is easy.
Okay, this is super easy.
Maybe it's a little messy, but hey, you sometimes have to put the elbow grease in the kitchen. But you want to get the hang of it here. This is I mean, it is easy.
So we're placing them on this cooking tray?
This is on a cooking tray. We also have the oven set to 400 degrees. So then these will, after we've assembled all 16, we'll give them a little spray with some nonstick cooking spray so they brown evenly. Okay. And then they'll bake about 20 minutes or so until they're all done. And then we'll kind of have to see what they look like at the end. But you'll have some cheese in the middle, the gooiness. And we'll also make a little bit of a dipping sauce to go along with it.
I was just going to ask if there's something to dip it in. Now, so what I do love is that Beth bought the pre-cut cheese from Redner's Markets.
Yeah.
So again, just a little cheese cube. So another way to cut corners. When people will say to me, "Oh, well, that they cost more money," and sometimes they do. So you always have to weigh that. But what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Panicking a little bit and not having a plan for dinner because it takes too long.
No, it's
and
good
then
to have
going
in case.
through the drive-through.
Yeah.
You kind of have to pick and choose your battles, and maybe there are some weeks that you want to cut your own cheese. I'm not a fan of cutting cheese by any means. Anytime it calls for freshly grated or freshly cut, I'm like, no, thank you.
Freshly grated Parmesan. No, I'll take the
Exactly.
It will be
keep my grater in the cabinet there and keep it clean. Yeah, I agree.
Another dish.
Definitely a great shortcut. And so, this is we're using 16, so it's about half of the package of the pre-cut. So then you have the remainder of them for snacking and for other purposes, or make a double batch of the nuggets here. And oops, there I skipped my step. So you want to dip it in the egg wash first.
It's a taco nugget.
Yeah.
It's a taco nugget, and we're going to have a great seasoning sauce to go with it.
Cool.
This is perfect. So I think we are probably ready for our first break because we are going to let Beth finish out the pan here with our taco nuggets, and we're going to get them in the oven. And you said about 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 15, 20 minutes. And they'll be browned on the outside, and you would always then temp check them as well to make sure they're to the right temperature.
Okay, and temperature for these?
These would be at 160.
Okay.
160. Yep. All right, perfect. There you go.
They're pretty small,
and
so
I have my meat thermometer handy because I use it all the time.
That's how you prevent from overcooking. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to burn my pinkies again. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, that looks like a good spot for us to take a quick one. We'll be right back after a few messages here on Redner's Food for Thought. Hey, if you're tuning in on the radio, don't forget you can see the food being made right in front of you on Facebook, facebook.com. Look up Redner's Warehouse Markets, and you can see the yummy Cinco de Mayo themed food that we got going on here in the kitchen. But gotta take a quick break, so we'll be back after we're done assembling all this, and on the other side, we'll see you in a bit right here on Redner's Food for Thought.
Got a special event? Let Redner's Markets cover the catering with their delicious selection of party platters and prepared foods. Host the best brunch with their sunrise brioche sliders, wraps, and fruit trays. Treat your guests to Redner's assortment of pastries and cakes, or take your party to the next level with fried or rotisserie chicken, shrimp cocktail trays, traditional or boneless wings, and even more easy-to-heat meals made by our executive chefs. Put down the apron and pick up the party with Redner's Catering. Check out the menu at the market or order online at rednersmarkets.com.
On May 5th, the Rumble returns to 8:30 WEEU. Tune in to In the Dirt with me, Matt Knob, on Monday nights at 6 to get the scoop on all things local dirt track racing. Hear in-depth interviews with drivers, announcers, and more from the dirt tracks of Eastern Pennsylvania. Tune in on May 5th to hear Grandview Stories Part 3. Grandview co-event organizer Kenny Rogers, in-car radio official Mark Garman, and driver Jeff Strunk will join us and share their stories from the track. Only on 8:30 WEEU, the voice of Berks and Beyond.
Did you know Reading Hospital pharmacies offer compassionate customer care in convenient locations on the Reading Hospital campus and in Wyomissing? Don't want to leave home? Free medication home delivery is also available. To find out more, visit towerhealth.org/pharmacy. That's towerhealth.org/pharmacy or call 484-659-6380.
Join the thousands of animal lovers across the U.S. for the biggest fundraiser of the year, the 48th Annual Walk for the Animals, Saturday, May 3rd. This family-friendly event has it all: live music, kids' activities, food trucks, and plenty of playful pups at the WEEU Dog Contest hosted by Dave Russell. Whether you're a Jedi or a Sith, the fun will be with you for this year's theme, The Empire Fights Back. Register online through our events page at humanepa.org.
Beat the summer heat and enjoy the outdoors all season long in comfort and style with retractable awnings and shades from Sunair. Sunair retractable awnings are beautiful, energy-saving, and provide added value to your home. Schedule your appointment now with Overhead Door of Reading to make sure you're ready before the temperatures rise. Stay cool all summer long with the push of a button with retractable awnings and shades from Sunair. Overhead Door of Reading, your hometown garage door company since 1965. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorofReading.com.
Transform your home with Malsney Tile and Stone. With over 90 years of experience, we're Berks County's premier choice for quality and style. Explore our stunning selection of countertops and all flooring solutions. From kitchens to bathrooms, our expert team will help you achieve the perfect look for any project. Visit our beautiful showroom or check us out online at malsney.com. Let us help your dream design become a reality. Malsney Tile and Stone. We are so much more than tile.
Since 1970, Redner's Markets has grown thanks to the Berks County community. Your continued commitment is rewarded
30
by becoming
seconds.
a part of their Redner's Rewards program. Shopping at the markets earns you big savings with grocery deals,
Roger
special
that.
offers, and surprise savings from your favorite employee-owned shopping center. Rewards members save at the pump, too, with discounts on fuel prices at Redner's Quick Shops and many more select
The break was
locations.
longer
Shop,
because we're
earn,
combining
and
them.
save with the Redner's Rewards program. Sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
Turn the mics up. Okay, I'm going to count us down in 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to Redner's Food for Thought here on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. Once again, back in the kitchen with Meredith McGrath and Beth. Last name?
Stark.
From, well, why don't you tell them once again?
Yeah, so I am a registered dietitian and the director of nutrition outreach with the Pennsylvania Beef Council.
You're good.
I'm not used to using that
I always do it to Chef Tim too,
he does.
because I could hear, and I'm like,
I
oh,
whisk like, what's wrong?
yeah. So we opted not to be out on the grill tonight because we still wanted to be cozy. We weren't sure about April's showers, so Beth and I came up with 3 awesome Pennsylvania Beef Council recipes, so you could find them on that website. Quick, easy, convenient. Well, we hope tasty. I know tasty. I already have them, but I'm going to recheck to make sure they're tasty.
Quality assurance.
Yes. And of course, don't forget the Redner's Health Sense magazine. It's available online at rednersmarkets.com and available in all of our stores. And on page 2 already, we have a beautiful flank steak mango salad that we will be making next. And Beth, if you want to come back, come back.
Yeah,
we'd love to have you. May is beef
right.
month, so we're going to keep pushing beef as much as we can. And I would be in trouble if I didn't mention this.
Oh, sure.
Front page, this starts tomorrow, so our Redner's ad, of course, you could get it also online and in store, but top sirloin steak, buy 2, get 1 free with your Redner's reward card. So a really great deal. It's an excellent cut for one of our recipes that we're making tonight, so you want to run out and get that. And, don't forget about those berries. Oh, who doesn't love some berries? So that will be a great dessert for after you enjoy your beef tacos on Cinco de Mayo. You could have, like a nice little berry dessert.
Yes, I remember one of our early episodes where we had the chilled yogurt and granola with some blueberries and strawberries on top. Just little cups that we made.
Tasty.
Just little cups.
Really tasty. But we do have one recipe in the oven right now, and those are our taco nuggets.
That's right.
Beth, could you give us a quick rundown of what that involved again?
Yeah, again, so I think we know ground beef is, really easy to use. It's versatile. It's one of those more affordable cuts. You can find lean ground beef available, but, you want to change it up. How else can you enjoy it with your family? So we actually turned that into nuggets that were seasoned with a little bit of taco seasoning, a can of diced chilies, and then rolled into little meatball-shaped bites, filled with a Colby Jack cube of cheese.
Yep.
And then
Pre-cut that you can get at
crusted
Redner's.
with crushed up nacho cheese tortilla chips. So
I'm really looking forward to that.
and then kind of the finishing touch with that is this, it's called Tejano dipping sauce, but really what is it? It is just taco sauce, your favorite brand of taco sauce, and then honey. So you've got that sweet and savory combination. We know the kids love to dip, so this is a good dipping option. I opted for the mild taco seasoning sauce here, just knowing that, our audience here may include a couple of small McGraths after the show.
Okay, that's fair.
So we're going to do a little mix. Maybe I'll
perfect.
That so I don't slop it. So we'll just do the taco sauce into the honey. Whisk it together. So it's about 6 tablespoons. Oh, I love all the help. There we go.
And so everything you've done so far really lends itself to, number one, easy, right?
Yes.
You don't need any
yeah.
kind of crazy culinary skills, but also, if you do have others in the household that want to help, you could very easily give some manageable tasks that they can do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a little one could easily help with this. They could have stirred earlier to make the base for the nuggets, or help crush up the chips, or add the seasonings.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness. Girls of a variety of ages, so they could all be playing a role in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So get those kids involved, or even just a spouse or your roommate,
I was about to say.
whoever lives in your house. Get everyone in the kitchen to make a meal together.
And you love to cook, right?
Oh, I love cooking.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Very good. So we are going to move on to recipe number 2. So that is already going on the stovetop right now. But don't forget that we're really looking to hear from you. So please let us know what your favorite cut of beef is. Everybody is very different.
Sure.
We could all learn from each other. We could all crowdsource. But we'd love to know what your favorite cut of beef is. And then also, what do you do? What's your main dish? What's your go-to? And we're going to pick a random winner tonight, and or maybe tomorrow. We're going to let people catch it on
we'll give you a
replay
little bit of
because it's
time.
really nice outside. Now, we hope that you are all sitting around watching Food for Thought. But if you are at the park, or if you're enjoying a nice little stroll and you catch us on replay while you're laying in bed at night, that's cool. Still comment, and we will pick a winner sometime tomorrow, and $50 to Redner's.
I mean, yeah.
Let's do
winner.
it. All right,
dinner.
All right, Beth. So you are up on the stovetop.
So yeah, what would a Cinco de Mayo spread without kind of a classic taco, but with a little twist be? So we've got, again, some lean ground beef here, another use for this very versatile and affordable cut. It's browning in the skillet. Just kind of taking our spatula here to break it up into some smaller crumbles.
Now, Beth, your recommendation when it comes to purchasing this ground beef, we know that the 80-20 ground beef is cheaper. So if it works on my budget not to buy the more lean, is that okay? Any recommendations?
I mean, I would say, across the board when you're eating really any kind of animal protein, you want to stick to around like a 3 to 4 ounce portion per meal, and then kind of like accompany that animal protein with other types of healthful ingredients. So whole grains, vegetables, fruits, other types of things to complement it. So yeah, if 80-20 is the most appropriate for your budget, by all means enjoy that, because in addition to, we're talking a little bit about lean cuts and, kind of relying on talking about the fat content, but beef provides a lot of other nutrients too. So you're talking about iron, B vitamins, choline, zinc, some of those really vital essential nutrients, in addition to high quality protein. So any cut of beef will deliver all of those nutrients, whether it's a lean cut or not. So that's a good point to make. So if 80-20 is what is best for you and your family, go for it.
And so many of those nutrients that you just mentioned are so key in the development of our young kiddos.
Absolutely.
And which is another reason why, again, I know you and I both introduced it very young, but it's so important to have it as part of kind of like their normal meal consumption and stuff. So finding something they like, trying it a bunch of different ways, and quick, easy recipes like what you got going on here.
Well, and even as young as like 6 months, when kids are kind of like transitioning to more solid foods and trying those foods for the first time, really soft, tender beef can be very appropriate, and it helps to optimize their iron intake as they're transitioning away from breast milk, for example. So if they're formula fed, it's not quite as crucial, but for breastfed babies that may be transitioning more to solid food, they really need that adequate source of iron, which beef delivers. The other thing is, kids and adolescents in particular, because of that rapid growth rate, a lot of them don't get enough iron. So beef is such a great way to do so, and it's a highly absorbable iron, so that they're getting that benefit of it for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so it looks
like meat is kind of getting nice and evenly brown. We're going to add just again, this is our lower sodium packaged taco seasoning, or again, you could do it yourself, as Meredith talked about before, with some of your favorite taco inspired seasonings.
Everyone can do this. We're just brown and ground beef on the stove top. Super easy.
And it takes about 8 to 10 minutes really to cook it thoroughly.
Oh, it smells good.
Evenly cooked.
I know, isn't that crazy
Very,
that
very
you just
good.
kind of like start cooking and it still tastes, it still smells so yummy.
It smells amazing.
Fantastic.
And then we're adding in, this is just 1 can of drained sweet corn.
Okay.
So this is actually called confetti beef tacos. So I think we're getting some confetti vibes from the corn here.
But you know what? Anytime you add color and different texture, I think it's so important because it really just alivens and awakens your senses.
Absolutely.
And it makes the food feel more special. You know, when I go out and I teach cooking classes, I do that all the time. Like, a variety. We want to continue to add different things to have those textures, to get those senses stimulated. Every time you do that, you're adding more nutrition.
Oh, yeah,
and that's really key.
Yeah. Something else you could add in here would be black beans, if you like black beans, or another type of bean you could add in there. And then our next step would be just to add some salsa. So
salsa is life
kind
for
of
me.
like
I love salsa.
Guesstimate there. So you could add as much or as little as you like, really based on your family's preferences. And then you'll just kind of stir that in, leave it all cook through. So this will be ready to serve in 10 minutes or less, basically.
Yeah. So to do another shameless plug here, Redner's has our very own fresh salsa, and it is absolutely amazing. So anytime we had it that one, a chef got it for us, right?
Yes, we did.
And it is so good, and it's just a great way to get those veg added, add some awesome flavor, and no work. And it's freshly prepared out of the central kitchen, so it's not like it's all jarred up from 10 years ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
But, this looks really great. I love to see, the salsa added to this. I have a jalapeno pepper, which I'm so tempted to pull out of there and let's crank this baby up.
Yeah.
But, another thing about these recipes is it's great to have the recipe as a guide, but you could do whatever you want. Just like you said, if you want to add beans, you could add some beans, and you could do it and really make it your own.
Yeah.
You could even to this, and just to the point of, being able to add some more vegetable nutrition, you could add chopped up bell peppers in here. You could add a little bit of heat with a jalapeno pepper. My goodness. And then, tacos themselves just lend themselves to adding a lot more produce in general because you're usually topping them with some fresh tomatoes, some chopped up lettuce. I like to use coleslaw mix sometimes on tacos because it's just something a little bit different. It adds more crunch than like lettuce would.
Yeah.
Of course, avocado, guacamole, whatever your topping of choice may be, but you're adding so much nutrition.
Gummy bears, pizza,
this is just
whatever.
like a base, the possibilities are endless.
And so the ongoing joke at the Redner's corporate office is, what is Meredith having for breakfast? So breakfast is my main meal. I love it. I get excited. I wake up in the morning and I cannot wait to eat.
It's the first thing I think about.
And I love breakfast food. I really do. But not for every single day. And, sometimes breakfast food does limit itself in terms of nutrition.
Yeah.
So I love to do leftovers. And something like this, the amount of times that I have eaten tacos for breakfast, whether, beef tacos, and then I toss on my avocado, like we have here, a little extra salsa, some more peppers, but yet... and you're getting all that nutrition, and people look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm sitting there at 6 o'clock in the morning eating this food, and I'm like, guys, this is delicious.
Yeah, I was going to say, pancakes and bacon and even oatmeal, that's kind of that's a very cultural to this part of the world. But around the world, people are eating, rice and vegetables and beef and chicken and all kinds of stuff for breakfast, and that's totally fine.
And
you enjoy those tacos.
Thank you, Andy P. But you really do. You missed out on a lot of key nutrients if you really just pigeonhole yourself into like, I'm gonna have cereal and a piece of bread, or I'm gonna have some yogurt, I'm gonna have a smoothie, I'm gonna have my egg. I love my eggs, by the way. But I mean, who wouldn't love these tacos for breakfast? Yeah. Probably going to be my breakfast tomorrow.
I think there's some people that are just like, oh my gosh, I never eat leftovers. I don't like leftovers. And to me, I'm like, who are you? I like leftovers. I mean, I also do like a good savory breakfast every now and then too, just because the same old mundane breakfast can just really get so boring.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. If like, tacos for breakfast, nachos for breakfast, whatever kind of like leftovers you might have, let those workmates be like, what is she eating over there?
You can even repurpose this meat into the nuggets that you just made.
True.
Because Because it was basically just making taco meat there. So we have the taco meat here. So if you have a little bit left over, why not make the nuggets and have them for snack the next day? So looking for repurpose.
Yes.
cool.
Cook once, eat twice, wherever you can. Yes.
So it looks like we have just a few minutes left in the oven. We're almost here, done on the stovetop. We have one more recipe, and then we're going to finish, and we're going to eat. So we are on a shortened schedule tonight, and that's okay, because we're still going to get this done after this break.
We always do. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we are going to be finishing off our cooking here on Redner's Food for Thought, Cinco de Mayo edition and Beef edition. So I hope everybody's been enjoying the show so far. Don't forget, if you've got your favorite kind, whatever your favorite kind of beef, whatever you like to prepare, let us know in the comments below if you're on Facebook and watching us live. And if you're tuning in, hey, thanks for doing so. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after a few messages here on Redner's Food for Thought.
Shopping at Redner's has never been easier or more convenient with Redner's Ready, the order online and pickup service for Redner's Markets. Visit rednersmarkets.com and click on the Redner's Ready icon. Then choose your items, pay online, and pick up your order in any of the designated Redner's Ready parking spaces, and your groceries will be brought right to your car. It's Redner's Ready, the convenient online order and pickup service available only at rednersmarkets.com.
When it comes to addiction, every second counts. Today, there's hope. Berks County residents have access to free Narcan and safe, affordable options for drug and alcohol treatment. Order an opioid overdose reversal kit. Find treatment. Or learn more by visiting the Council on Chemical Abuse website, cocaberks.org/hope. That's COCA berks.org/hope for more information. Or call 610-376-8669 to learn more. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
It probably feels pretty great to be out of the winter weather, but there's no denying its lingering effects. Cracked, warped, and uneven sidewalks, patios, and decks are not only an eyesore, they're a tripping hazard, and if left unchecked, could become a costly repair. Let the folks at Keystone Concrete lift and level that sidewalk or concrete slab, saving you tons of money and a headache. Local, fast, and professional. Keystone Concrete. Call 717-768-3641 or visit their website to learn more. KeystoneConcrete.com.
If you or a loved one needs estate planning or may require nursing home care, call Scott Painter, your hometown attorney. Scott is a certified elder law attorney serving all of Berks County from his office at 906 Penn Avenue in Wyomissing. He handles every aspect of elder law. Mention WEEU and he will provide you with a $50 credit. To see how you can protect and plan your estate, call Scott Painter at 610-378-5140.
WEU is proud to be your source for high school football and basketball. From every touchdown to every basket, WEU was there to bring you all the action. Our coverage is all thanks to you, the listener, and to our community businesses for stepping up to make this all possible. Special thanks to Adelphia Seafood, Cross Keys Insurance, Houndstown and Reading, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, and Victor Emanuel Beneficial Society. Here's to another great year of high school sports on WEU, the voice of Berks and beyond.
Shop, earn, and save with the Redner's Rewards Program. Purchase select items at Redner's and unlock big savings on groceries and fuel. Redeem your points in-store and fill your shopping cart with fantastic deals like buy 3, get the 4th free. Save on fuel, too. Enjoy discounts at Redner's Quick Stop, Speedway, and many other locations. Get 5 cents off per gallon for every $50 spent. Plus, discover tons of special offers, digital deals, and surprise savings available to rewards customers. Start saving today. Sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
Okay, I'm going to count us down. All right. Counting us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Redner's Food for Thought here on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. We got quite the spread going over here, Meredith.
Do you see how his face changes by the end of the show?
He's happier right now, doesn't he?
Like at the beginning of the show, he's a little like you're not stressed, you're not angry, but you're like, let's get to it.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Let's get to
getting into it.
And like you were actually glowing. You were like super happy. He's giddy over this.
Yes.
And you have every right to be, because for the last 40 minutes we have had Beth Stark, who is the Director of Nutrition from the Pennsylvania Beef Council, and she has been wowing us with all things beef and how to eat beef, how to shop for beef, how, to make sure that you include beef as a nutritious part of your diet. All of this information can be found out at your website, which is
pabeef.org. I mean, gosh, there's just such a robust amount of resources there, from recipes to learning about beef production. If you want to know more, you can also find, different beef producers, and if you want to learn more of their story within your region, lots of really great information.
Yeah. And you have really great social media pages, so check them out on Facebook and Instagram.
Correct, yes.
So check them out. Again, you will get lots of really great information, along with all the information that we hand you down here from Redner's, which is our Redner's Health Sense magazine. Follow us on Facebook, which I think you are all doing.
Yeah.
Don't forget, and if you don't, if you're listening to us on the radio, make sure you're following us. But comment in the comment box below. Let us know what your favorite cut is, because we are looking for a winner, a random winner, and we're going to treat you to dinner. So let us know what your favorite cut of beef is. And Beth is going to finish up our second recipe. So we have one recipe down. We're finishing up our confetti tacos.
Confetti tacos. And again, this is just, our lean ground beef that's been cooked in the skillet, seasoned with some taco seasoning. A can of corn has been tossed in, some jarred salsa. Easy peasy. And now the best part is topping the tacos, right? And again, we were talking about how you can optimize the nutrition in tacos by adding lots of vegetables and, just really getting creative with it. So, I feel like you want to add a little bit of lettuce here. So I'll dress a couple of them up.
So good. And it was so quick and easy. I'm having them for leftover. Well, I'm going to have some now.
Yeah. And then what for
that's what we do.
breakfast?
I'm going to have some more for breakfast. But all of these recipes are found at the Beef Council's website.
That's right.
And we are going to go into our third one as well. What I like about all of these is they're all finger foods. So we actually don't need any utensils.
Yay!
I know that you like that. But this one is really exciting. So this is our Cali Caribbean Steak Street Taco. So again, very easy. What you simply start doing is you make a little bit of a dressing, kind of for like the salad piece of the taco. But I have a top sirloin steak here, which, don't forget, is on sale starting tomorrow, which is a buy two, get one free top sirloin steak. We have some beautiful cuts of meat in our meat case.
Yum, yum.
So go out and grab that and make this recipe. But it only took about 8 minutes on the grill. That was to Beth's doneness. Mine would be a little bit less, because I'm a little bit more medium rare. Beth's a little bit more medium well. So always use your meat thermometer, and you can find all those guidelines on the Pennsylvania Beef website as well.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for exactly which temperature you want to cut it to. But it only took a few minutes. And we pulled that off the grill, and now it's sliced diagonally. So we have these beautiful thin pieces of top sirloin, and it was just seasoned with a little bit of Caribbean jerk seasoning. This guy right here, because that's what I had in my pantry. It's super delicious. You smell this?
Yum.
Yes.
Oh my.
Good seasoning.
Yeah, it's really good. So just season the steak, and it's amazing. I may have already tried a couple pieces as I was cutting, because you got to check.
Sure.
But it was just that easy.
Yeah.
There nothing fancy needed to happen. I threw it on the grill, medium heat, and we're good to go. So we have the steak ready to go. And then I do have a few taco shells. I am using just a soft shell tortilla.
Okay.
These are my favorite, the little street taco ones. I use these for lots of different things, but they're going to fit nicely with our Caribbean steak street tacos.
All right.
And I'm going to put a few pieces of the steak in there.
Okay, so we're just assembling it after we cook
Just
the steak.
assembling. It's just
Wonderful.
that easy.
This is quite the Cinco de Mayo spread, if you will.
And then the dressing is a little bit of olive oil. It's fresh lemon juice, and then that jerk seasoning. And I'm drizzling that over some arugula and some orange slices.
Good choices.
I'm sorry, I said lemon juice. I meant to say orange juice. Hence the gigantic orange sitting right here. So we have that. You see that beautiful arugula.
Very nice.
Arugula and orange slices.
Another perfect demonstration of beef's versatility. I mean, would you think of including a fruit with a taco that is made with beef? No. So I think this is such a great example of that.
This is another way to get some fruit into your diet.
Lots of great produce on your the tacos there, and arugula. I love that. The peppery flavor of it. That's gotta taste delicious.
And look at the color. Look at the color we have. We have green. We have orange. We're going to add a little bit more green and yellow with the avocado slices. Beautiful. So we're going to put those in there. And I love the topping. The topping is coming. It's right behind me, and that is chopped up cashews.
Hey, oh my gosh, good job.
Adding some additional nutrition with the cashews, an extra texture.
Beautiful. Look at that. The color, the variety. My goodness.
Fun. All right, Andy, that's 3. We got them all down. Let's go to it.
Just in time. We got a minute to eat it, baby.
We actually have like lots of minutes.
I'm going to start.
Don't forget our nuggets here. Yeah, we have our sauce alongside. So here, I mean, you can see some of the cheese has oozed out of
that's the best though.
nuggets.
Let me get the little.
So Beth, remind us about the sauce.
So again, this is just a bottle taco sauce.
Okay.
You know, any preference that you like, and then it's been mixed up with a little bit of honey.
I'm gonna let you take yours. I'm gonna use this plate.
For the dipping sauce. So it's just a nice, sweet, kind of tangy, savory combination. I'll kind of just drizzle it over top.
And so they did take just under 20 minutes. I did actually temp them, and they temped in perfect. So you know that they are quick and easy.
Oh, geez.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm going to keep eating.
Right?
That's how you know.
I love the crisp. I love the cheese. Of course, I love the beef. But this sauce is also really good because you're right. It's that sweet. It's the very little spicy. Of course, you can make it a little bit spicier.
And I can hear the bed music playing at the very end.
I know, but we got to do it.
But look at that. We got all of them in there. I'm going to take a quick bite just to show that we got them all.
Just to say that we did it.
Oh boy, here. I'm not ready for this.
Mazel tov. Thank you so much to Meredith McGrath and Beth for coming around. This is a great spread.
Yes.
Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in as well. Happy May.
Yep. Don't
Right
forget, comment. You could be the lucky winner. Dinner's on us. And thank you to Beth Stark from the Pennsylvania Beef Council. See you next month.
Take care, everybody, and make sure that you tune in next month for another edition of Redner's Food for Thought. In the meantime, Phillies baseball coming up next right here on 830 WEEU.